My heart raced as I realized that it wasn't my housemates. I had just got my job as a teacher, and sometimes I still tend to forget that I am a teacher. I've waited for those days my whole life. It's something that I enjoy, seeing young people grow and learn something valuable from an educator like me. It's hands down the best feeling in the world. I'm not saying that I'm that goody two-shoes type of teacher, but I still try. The school that I teached at was far from my home. From there, it takes approximately 6 hours to arrive at my workplace. I'd be lying if I said I was okay with being far away from my family and friends. At times, I still feel glum about it, but being a true hippie that I am, I stay positive. My housemates and I rented a place for us to stay. I didn't expect to live there alone for a whole week, but I did. When I first visited the house, I honestly wasn't expecting much. The building was very old, and I was told that it was built when the Japanese were colonizing the country. It was a shop lot house, meaning it was on top of a shop, which I thought was quite nice. Plus, there was a balcony, where I ended up spending most of my free time. The house's condition seemed like it has been abandoned for years, but the landlady told me otherwise. After roaming around, I made up my mind, thinking the place was okay and habitable. Besides, I didn't think I'd be spending much time there anyway, because of my new career. I spent 3 whole days cleaning the place before I moved my things in on the next day. That day, I busied myself with unpacking my stuff until late at night. First night of staying there went well, so I was confident I could stay there peacefully even without my housemates. But boy, was I wrong. I blamed my housemates for not moving in early with me after I experienced a creepy incident alone. You see, I wasn't one to sleep early, but I had the sudden urge to stare at the sunrise till my eyes burned. So I was very determined to wake up extra early the next day. That night, I set many alarms on my phone and went to sleep. The first alarm rang at 4:30 a.m. It was still pitch black, so I gave myself 5 more minutes to sleep and snoozed the alarm, including a few more. At some point, I got tired of reaching for my phone, so I just let the last one ring and slept. Since I lived alone at the time, my screeching alarms didn't bother anyone. At least, that's what I thought. Suddenly, a loud series of knocks on a door woke me up. It was exactly 6 knocks. I thought it came from the front, but it was actually coming from my bedroom door. I lazily dragged myself up to the door with my eyes half open, thinking that it was my housemates. I glanced at the time, and it was 5 in the morning. I got confused as to why they chose to come so early, but I was skeptical. So instead of opening the door, I bent over to look from under the door. There was someone walking back and forth in front of my bedroom door. My heart raced as I realized that it wasn't my housemates. I quickly went to bed and forced myself to sleep. The next day went by normally, and I survived through another night alone. I was on edge after what happened the previous night, but I ignored it. On the 5th day, 2 of my housemates came to clean their own room before they could move in, while I continued unpacking my luggage and folding my clothes. After that, we went out to buy some essentials for the house and decorated some of the areas to our liking. Afterwards, I sent them back to their homes. By the time I returned, it was almost dark, so I switched the lights on. It was an old round switch, the ones you normally see in the local museums. When it switched on, the click could be heard by the whole house. I couldn't switch any of my electrical appliances in peace with those. After getting ready for bed, I couldn't bear the dusty floor after all that cleaning my housemates did, so I took the time to sweep the floor. While I was at it, I saw something in the corner of my eyes. It was under the dining table, so I got closer and saw an orange cloth that was similar to my favorite shirt. But I didn't think it was possible because that was the first thing I put in my luggage and I haven't even finished unpacking. I crawled under the table and grabbed it. To my shock and dismay, it was my favorite shirt. It even has the scent of my perfume. I put two to two together and got upset. I thought my housemates wanted to prank me, but the thought of them digging through my luggage wasn't funny at all. I immediately texted them, but they said they haven't even walked in my room. I sighed heavily and went to bed. I was tired, but I couldn't fall asleep that night because it was too hot. So I scrolled through my social media in hopes that my eyes would get tired, but it didn't work. I put my phone down and just closed my eyes. Suddenly, my eyes shot open, but I didn't remember falling asleep, and what made it worse was that I could not move my body. I freaked out because it had been so long since my last experience with sleep paralysis. My eyes darted around the room, expecting my hallucinations to kick in. As if on cue, I felt a hand caressing my shoulders. I desperately tried to move my fingers so I could fully wake up. But slowly, the hands reached for my neck. The hands were skinny, long, and furry. Then it violently strangled me, squeezing my neck with an unexpected force. I couldn't breathe. In my heart, I prayed while I cried and gasped for air. Out of nowhere, I felt a sudden rush of energy and broke free. I sat up on my bed, silently staring at the thing that was choking me. It has long hair, covering its face, a hairy, skinny body, and elongated legs and hands. Before it disappeared, I noticed that it was wearing my favorite shirt. Then it dawned on me. I almost lost my life to a strange creature that strangled me with my shirt on. I honestly couldn't decide whether to be scared or to be angry at that point. But that was how my first week went.